Hello, welcome back to this second episode of our series. I want to first thank those ones who have subscribed and those ones who have liked the series. It is so much amazing, guys, to see how you guys responded to the multi-vendor e-commerce. And I'm so much excited to redo this project alongside the inventory system. So many guys commented on the inventory system that we continue and we add more modules, and then we also have the multi-vendor e-commerce, and then I have also the coming up course. So guys, I'm having a lot of serious work going on, and sometimes I go into burnouts, okay? But that's the I really love coding. That's the only thing I always just do on normal circumstances. I love coding. I love all the bits of coding, all the hardships, all the problem solving. I just simply love it. Okay, so in today's episode, I'm just going to make it it might not take so much long. I want to concentrate on one part we are going to put into this episode, and I want us to work onto this paginated table, and I want to see how we can implement this pagination. Okay, it is something that is really tricky, but we are going to go ahead and see if we can actually implement it. Okay, yeah, so that's the task I want us to do. I want us to see how we can implement this table, and this table we are going to extend it to all tables. If you see, this has been carried out to all other tables, okay? And in the future, these tables, of course, will give it more other nice things like the search functionality, filtering. It will have all these things. Yeah, we'll put these components in the future, okay, whereby we can do filtering, searching, and all that amazing stuff. But for now, in today's one, just to look at this table, whereby we can actually put in, we can just work on the pagination. So pagination is one big thing that really makes the UIs to stand out, and it is so much implemented in so many different ways. Okay, we are going to look at pagination when we reach in the search functionalities on the front end. We look at pagination, and then we are going to look at this specifically for the table. Okay, so for the start, what we are just going to do is going back to our code. So I'm just going to go to my code right now. I'm just going to go back to the dashboard. So you can see right now we have these the charts. I'm just going to go ahead and create one more component inside here. Just create the, and I'm just going to call it custom table, because in the future we'll customize it to feed in or other data the way we did in the inventory. So I'm just going to say custom data table dot jsx, okay, rfc. Yeah, so I just want to continue thanking you guys. You make me to really want to code the whole day. Okay, like this has been so much amazing, and I feel so much pumped, guys. We are going to build so much, and I'm so open to opportunities. You guys, some guys are so much giving me opportunities these days. I'm so open to them, and see how we can really make this whole building of systems and taking it to the next level. Okay, so we have this. I'm just going to say h2. I'm just going to say here data table, as simple as that, this heading, and then I'm just going to bring it in the dashboard. So just go and bring it here on the dashboard. Where is the dashboard? Is this the dashboard? Okay, so we have these dashboard charts, large cards. I think here this is where we are going to put it. So just come here and we say custom data table, as simple as that. So if you just go right now and check, okay, so you can just see here down data table. That's great. So the first thing we're going to do is putting on the headings the way we did even into these ones. Okay, so to put on the this, I'm just going to quickly copy this like the heading. Just going to copy the heading we used here, just simply for simplicity purposes. Just copy this heading here, H2. Okay, and you can also see we used slate. We're just going to maintain that. Text Excel font bold margin. I'm just going to copy this instead. Okay, so what do? I just take this anyways. So just go to our data, what is custom data table here. Just put this H2. Okay, and we're just going to give it the same heading. So we have there the same heading of recent orders, and it's not necessarily we are going to use the recent orders, but just put there the this. Okay, so down here is where we are going to have the table. Okay, so now we're just going to use a table from Flowbyte. Simply just search for the table here. Okay, and then when it comes back, just search for the table, and then you just go to where we have pagination. Okay, we have this nice pagination, and I like this one more than even the other one. This one is really nice. Okay, so just simply let's go and look for this this code here. Just copy this and simply bring it here. Okay, so that is our table. So the first thing, as usual, we have some inputs, which are these checkbox. The first checkbox, we don't need the checkbox, these ones here. We could just leave them. Actually, let's just leave them. Maybe in the future we'll put this functionality of checking here, and it checks all of them, and we do like bulk delete. So what we can just do is going to one. Okay, going to one, and we can just do this, select like this. We have this input. There are so many, we don't need all this. We can first actually leave very few rows, so just put table data and one. So we just need like few of them. Okay, td, we just need few of them. So table row, so we have one table row, and these others we can just simply remove. So just remove these ones for simplicity. We're just going to get a sample data in a second. Right now, just simply remove all these. Just simply do this, remove. Okay, just simply remove all these. So just simply want like only one row. We're just going to map through. Okay, just like that. Okay, so great. And then now we can just go to this one, and where there is the input in this first one, and then we just go at the end here. Just go at the end of the input and just put this slash. Okay, that is one thing. And then now is there any other? Let's just see. You just go to this one, just at the end here, just put a slash. Okay, great. Now one more thing is to replace all the class names. So just select class with equal signs, then you say Control F and then Control H. So just put class name with equal signs and then enter. Okay, great. So this is looking good right now. Okay, now let's see how this looks in the browser. So just going down here. Okay, we have this. This looks great. Okay, we have this, and it's showing 10 out of this. Okay, we have this table. Okay, and we are just going to look at the, I think we should also implement dark mode afterwards, but right now just concentrate onto this one. So for the purposes, I'm just going to say what they have light mode. We could just leave it in the light mode. Okay, we could just leave it in the light mode, only that the some of the things are not showing up. Okay, let me see, showing of, Control F, showing. So this one is dark text white, text gray. So this one by default is having this. Let's just temporarily change this. Okay, let's just say temporary text gray 50. Okay, let's just temporarily change it. Let's hope. Okay, and then the down one also the same thing, text gray 50. Okay, okay, just like that. Okay, so you have the previous, the next buttons, and all this. So the first thing we need is the data. Okay, the first thing we need is the data to use in this table here. Okay, so let me just first of all give this table some padding. Okay, so some padding. We could even just like put padding outside here. So before this, just put like P8. Okay, just like that. And okay, so we have it just like that, our table. Okay, so I'm just going to go ahead now, first of all, get the example data. We have the product name, color, category, price, and action. Okay, so there is this place called Mokaru. So there is mokaru.com, which generates like some random data. You can just come here and generate some data. Okay, so I'm just going to stick with this one. Okay, we'll have the ID, first name, like this, the way it is. I'm just going to maintain this for simplicity purposes. Okay, in fact, we have first name, last name, email, gender, and let's remove this and just put the fields. You can even edit them, add whatever you want in these. Okay, then after that you can add new fields. You can generate using AI, blah blah. I'm just going to limit this to 100. Okay, you can just select the format to JSON, include null, no, include an array, yes. Okay, so we have a JSON. You can go ahead and preview the data somewhere. Where is the preview? Here you can just preview the data, and let's see. And let me confirm I have data. Okay, so you can just go ahead and preview the data in the browser, and it is taking long. I'm just going to simply generate and see. Okay, so the data is here. You can just go ahead and look into this data. Okay, so simply generate. Okay, it's just generating the data. We're just going to use for purposes of the pagination, and then we have the file here. Okay, mock data. I'm just going to simply go here, and I'm just going to say rename this to data.json. I'm just going to Ctrl C, copy this data, and simply go here in the you can just go here in this, right click and just say reveal, and then inside the app here we can just simply have this data.json. so the whole data, I've just pasted it here. You can see you have the data here. Okay, you have all the data here in an array. Okay, so going back to this side, where is it? If we just go back, let me close it. If we go back to our custom, okay, you can just go ahead and bring it from here. You say const, okay, const data, okay, is equal. So you can just import this. I think we can just say import data from, okay, from, okay, so we could just say let's just see, okay, and then data, I think, isn't it on the same? Just go backwards. Let's just see, import data from, just remove this and we see. So we have git, this is the place I think where we're supposed to have it, is on the same line with this tailwind. So if I just say data.json, okay, we can just go ahead and console.log the data and see it very well. I'm just going to go ahead and make this one a client so that we see it in the browser. Use client, and let's say console.log data, console.log data. Just to confirm we have this data, just go back to our app, and let me just go back to the, okay, let me just see here if I can see it in the browser. Okay, okay, it is here. So we have the data. Yep, so we have it 100 items of an array. So the data is there. Okay, great. So now what we need is to map through it. Okay, so quickly I'm just going to map through the data. Okay, so where is the table? So we have the table head, so you can minimize this, the table head, and then we have this the row. So you're just going to map through this row, get this, and let's just say data dot, okay, data dot map, and then I access the item in this data and the index, and then here, sorry, and then here I can just say return, and we can just return this table, the table row. Okay, so where we have all these ones. So the first one, we have the checkbox, which I will leave the checkbox. Then the second one, we can have the first name. So if you look at this data, if you look at this data, 100 items, we have first name. Just open one. We have first name, last name, email, and gender. So we have the ID also. I'm not just going to put the ID, but we have this first one. I'm just going to name this one as item dot first name. Okay, first name. Okay, so we have the item dot last name. Okay, item dot last name. Then we have item dot email. Then we have this one, item dot we have here item dot gender. So we have the gender, and those are enough. The edit, we can just leave it there. Okay, so that's it. So we have this the data. Okay, so if we just now remove this, this is the data of all we have. So you can see all these are 100 items, and I could just slice them. Data dot slice, is it slice, something like that, slice, and I can slice it 0 to maybe 20. Okay, 0 to 20, and this is just like to reduce on this crazy number. Instead of having this crazy number, we can have, I can even just slice it to 10. Okay, we can slice it to 10. Yep. Okay, so we have now, if I check 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. Okay, 9 10. Okay, so we have these. So far so good. We have all the data fetched. Okay, we have all the data fetched. This is a good thing, having the data. Okay, so now the next thing is, how do we put the pagination? Okay, how do we put the pagination? First of all, as you can see, one thing that we have that is changing, we have to first know how many results do we need to show. So for instance, the page must have a size of 10 items. Okay, so we can first take in some of those constants we have. For instance, constant page size. Page size is equal to 10. This is a constant. This is not changing. You have to choose it at once. Which number, so that it is consistently on all pages. You can't just say on each page the page number is changing. No, the page size is the same. That's why we are not putting it in just state or changing. It's just like there one number. Okay, now another thing is, if you look at this, we have the previous and the next button. That means like the page number will be changing. Okay, so the current page with the one that is changing, we can have the current page as maybe this one, and then we change it to the second one, to the third one, like that. Okay, so meaning one thing that we have in state, I'm just going to say const, and we can just say current page, set current page. Okay, so we can have something like that. Use state. We start maybe page 1. Okay, so we can start with page 1 by default. Another thing we can identify from here is that we have these ones as buttons. They have to be buttons, not links. We are going to change that in a second. So they don't have to be buttons, so that if you click, then it can change the page. Okay, so now one thing, what are we going to use? As you saw, we can control the amount of data of what we are displaying on the what? The amount of data we are displaying, we are controlling it using the slice. Okay, so we must have the current. Okay, const, maybe just say current displayed data. Okay, we have to have the current displayed data, the amount that has to be displayed. As you can see, you can just say it is data. So I'm just going to copy this for simplicity, the currently displayed data. Okay, so currently, I just say currently displayed data is data.slice 0 to 10. For example, now I can just use this here. Just come down here, and instead of just doing this here, I can put the I can just replace this with currently displayed data. Okay, so this shouldn't change. And by the way, let's first put a key here, okay, of I. So this shouldn't change anything. As you can see, we still have the currently displayed data. To know that it is working, I can go ahead and change it. So if I change this to 5, okay, let's see if it changes. Okay, so you can see there are 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So we can control the amount here, since now we can start putting it together to be dependent on the page size, because right now we don't know who is determining this. Okay, so to determine this one in the slice, we call this one the index, the start index. Okay, so we can calculate two things, this index and this index. We can just say const start index. Okay, because we want to know where it should start, the start index. Now we would say it is going to always start from 0, but what if we are on the second page? So the second page again can start from the index 0. Okay, so the start index is going to be equal to the, I think it is going to be something like, you have the current page minus 1 times page size. Okay, times page size. Okay, just like that. This to be the starting index. Why are we subtracting 1? Now this slice, if you look at this slice, is takes the index to be as a number in the first item, like in an array. So since array they are 0 based, okay, we couldn't start our pages from 0, we started from 1. So to get the index, we have to go to 0 based index. So arrays calculate their first item to be on 0. So wherever we have the current page, we subtract 1 to cater for the 0 based kind of architecture for the arrays, because arrays, if you have an array, const array is equal to this, maybe 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So this one is at index 0, this is at index 1, index 2, index 3, index 4. Okay, so to cater for that kind of counting of index, we have to subtract 1. As you can see, if you want to get this one, okay, it can't be 1. So if you have your pages starting from 1, you have to subtract 1, so that you are always 1 less for the arrays. They are always 1 less. So that means, like, if you want to get the first item, since it is these are like the pages. So if you want just to get like this, the first item, you have to subtract 1 to get its index. Okay, I don't know if I've explained it well, guys, but the index, that index, since we want to start from 0, we have to, and our page is starting from 1, we have to subtract the current page minus 1. Okay, so this start index, I'm just going to put it here. Okay, start index. Okay, and this shouldn't change anything. Okay, you can see we still have the same thing, because if current page by default is 1, okay, then if the current page is 1, here it will be 1 minus 1, 0 times page size 0, so this one will be 0. Okay, then the second one we have to get, okay, we have to get the end index. We have start index and we have to get the end index. So the end index is, for instance, right now you can see it is dependent also on the page. Okay, is dependent on the page size. Okay, so if you just think about it, okay, if you think about it in terms of 5, we need 5 items. So this, okay, we need, so to be it would be let me just check in my notes. That logic is not easy at all. Okay, so up here I can have let me just zoom in for you guys to see. Okay, so I have the page size. Okay, so the start index, we have explained this. Now the end index is start index plus the page size. Okay, so the end index is that end index. Where is the end index? So the end index, okay, is equal to, I'm just going to go around it, so current page plus the page size. Okay, as simple as that. So how do we get this? If you just look at this, this is the item, the stopping item in the array. So if you have an array with many items, so one stop on 5. Okay, so as you can see, if you have like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items, so the start index will be this. As we say, we get the start index, but then the page size, we have said, is the one which has to be stopping, but then we have to add the starting index. Okay, and then here I'm just going to say end index, and index, simple as that. So this should still remain the same. Let's see. Okay, so yeah, since we have 10, okay, so this should be 10. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. These are 10, and we could just easily put a number if we wanted here to see them, to track them very well. I'm just going to put, I think we have the ID. So after this, I'm just going to duplicate one more here. Okay, just duplicate this, and before this, we're just going to put item.id. okay, on the first name. So even on this header, you can just go ahead and do that. So we have first have the this. So we will have the ID, we will have the first name, we will have the first name, then we have the last name. So we can have last name, then we can have the email, then after the email we have gender. So here I'm just going to add gender, just like that, and let's see. Okay, so you can see we have this. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. So we have 11 items. Okay, we have 11 items. So like this end index is current page, which is okay. So we have current page. Is it current page? No, start index. This is not current page, guys. It has to have start index, not current page. It has to be starting index plus page size. Okay, so this should fix it. We should have only 10 items. Yeah. So it is just not the current page, it is the start index. So the start index, which is 0 to the page size. Okay, so great, we have the current items. We have more things already dynamic, guys. The only thing that we are remaining is, first of all, to change this. When someone clicks the button, we need to change the data. Most especially, we have to change the current page, because if the current page changes to 2, okay, this changes some things. If we do that, let's see. So you can see now we have from 11 to 20, guys. Okay, if you change this to 3, okay, if you change that to 3, so you can see that. Okay, so we have to have a function for changing this. Okay, I'm just going to have here function. So you can have a function handle page change, handle page change. Okay, and it takes in maybe the page. Okay, and then of course we can first of all have the console.log of the page. Okay, and then I'm just going to use this in the bottom there, where we have these pages changing. Okay, let's start with the next. Here they have written which we have this next. So you just search for the next, Control F, next. Okay, this one, first of all, I'm just going to change this one to a button. So change this to a button. Okay, remove the href. Okay, and then now after changing this, we can have the on click. Okay, and the on click, we want it to actually have handle page change. Okay, so handle page change has to get something like current page plus 1. It has to be current page plus 1. This is the next page. Okay, so we can just go ahead and witness that. First of all, let's take this back to let's take this back to 1. So by default, just take this back to 1. Okay, of course this one will be changing this set current page. Okay, I don't think we need this handle page. Do we need this? Because we could just really pass this directly down here. We just avoid redundancy. We just simply, instead of this, we could just call actually like this set current page to current page plus 1. Okay, so you just see if this actually does the magic. So this has refreshed, click on next. Okay, so you can see now we have them changing. Okay, so we can have, so when do we want them to stop? Because this button at some point we want it to be disabled. Okay, so I'm just going to put something else down here, which is disabled should be determined by, okay, when the current page is equal to, I think, page.length. So we should have the number of pages. Okay, before I put this, can I first get the number of pages? First of all, we could just have here the const number of pages, const number of pages we have, or page, you can just say page count, but I'm just going to say go with this typical English. Is going to be, first of all, data.length, data.length. So this one returns the number of items we have in the array divided by the page size, I think, divided by the page size. Okay, this here. Now the problem is that it can give us some decimals. If for instance we have like 121 items, so we can also do something like mass dot ser, and then we can just say this, okay, mass dot ser, and we can just get the number of pages. Okay, so we just want, I don't know if this is supposed to be the endpoint for the disabled. Let me just see. Okay, so you say disabled here. Okay, you can just see here, if the current page is equal to the number of pages, I think. Let's see. So of course we don't know right now. We just like we can just continue, and now we are on the second last. So now you can see now it becomes disabled. Okay, even if you try to click, it is disabled. This is just nice, guys. I like this. So this button now has become disabled when actually the current page is equal to the number of pages. Okay, so that is the we just give it a good name, total number, maybe total pages. It's to avoid confusion, total pages. Okay, so here I'm just going to change this to total pages. Great, so we have the total pages. We can do the same thing for the previous. Okay, we can do the same thing for the previous. I'm just going to copy these two and just go to the previous. I can just check for previous here. So for the previous, let's change it also into a button. So just to do this, and if you are wondering why this, you can just have this auto rename tag. It is an extension. You can check that extension out, auto rename tag. And then let me just remove this href. I'm just going to simply put in these two. Okay, so on a click, want to set current page -1. Okay, so this want to say if the current page is equal to what. Okay, if want to disable it if the current page is equal to, want to move until we are on 0, but then what is 0? Do we say start index? I don't know if the current page is equal to what, start index. I don't know if that is true. Okay, but the previous should now be working. If we just go here on this previous, so you can just go back, and we have just like have, so when the current page is equal to what? Let me just check here in my function if the current page is equal to is equal to index, not current page is equal to 1, guys. It's just equal to 1. If the current page is equal to 1, this is very interesting. You can just like overthink on something, and yeah, so if the current page is equal to 1, we don't want it to be less than 1 for sure. That is the starting point. So let's just go back, refresh. Okay, so we have all this data. So if it is equal to 1 right now, let's see, you can see this is disabled. Okay, is disabled, and I think we even have styles for the disabled. If it is disabled, what should we do? So you can see you can do this. We can now change. What is remaining is also to have this dynamically showing. Okay, we have to calculate these items. Okay, so you can see that the start item, this one now, we have the start index. As you can see, the start index for the items that to be displayed here, we are using the index in the array. But for this, they tell you are showing like 1 of 10. So this is the start index for the items. So you could just say index start index item. Could you say here? Remove this. We could just say const would be equal to item start index. Okay, item start index would be equal to, okay, it would be, I think, current page plus 1 for it. I don't know if this is true. Could just have current page plus 1. Okay, no, it would be start index. I think it would be start index plus 1. Okay, yeah, so this should be start index plus 1. So if we just go and replace where we have that, let me copy this and let me just say showing. Okay, so here where we have this 1, I could just have this start index, item start index. So now let's see. So it is still going to show 1, I guess. Okay, so if we just increase, so you see now it is saying 11. Okay, just like that. 21, 20, 31. So that's great. Okay, then we have this end index. Okay, end index. So the end index, let me first go back to this one. Okay, so we have this 10. How do we calculate this 10? This one was easy. The item start index, we have to calculate the item end index. So the item index, we might just calculate it from also the page size. Const item end index would be equal to something like, of course we could just have like what would it would have the start index. I think it would be the start index plus the page size. Okay, for plus the page size. Okay, end index. Okay, it would be something like this. The problem is that start index plus the page size, I think this would work. Start index plus the page size, only that this can maybe actually exceed. Okay, because if the page size is 10, okay, so if you have items like 55, you might be having, and if you just look at how we are calculating the page, what are we calculating using total pages? We have these total pages. How do we calculate this? N is but it has to be this, like 0 plus 10. Let's first take this example. If I just go here and I say item and index, just going to say showing. Okay, so here we have this item and index. Let's see. Okay, so just go to the next. 11 up to 20 up to 30, just like this. But of course we are going to change here. These just like, I guess, like the showing the items you are showing out of, but the best way is to take a minimum. Okay, is to take a minimum. So you just say mass, I think it's just like something like math.min. Okay, and mean you can have this with data.length, I guess, data.length, and this is to ensure that at one point we are ever having a smaller number than the numbers that are in the for those who don't know what this mean does, is for the picking the minimum or if you have something like 2 items, if you have like 1, 5 and 8, maybe 7, so if you take the mean, it will just pick the smallest number in this range. Okay, so if you just say mean, okay, is to ensure that whatever is here at first is always smaller than this page data.length. Okay, it should never ever exceed this data.length. Okay, so this should remain the same. Okay, so you can just go previously up to this. Now what is remaining, of course, is this, which I guess is the data.length here. Where is it showing? Just say showing. I'm just going to search showing here. So we have these 1000. These are just like the the number of items that are inside, which is actually like data dot length. Okay, let's check. Okay, so you can see right now we have showing 1 out of 10 and out of 100. Now if I click on this, we're just having nice time. Okay, and you see now it cannot click anymore. If you go back, this is changing. I just love this, guys. Okay, I love this. Now what next is, how do we put in these pages here? Like how do we put, you have seen this on most websites where they show the pages where someone can jump onto these pages. Okay, someone can jump onto these pages here. Okay, so first of all, we're just going to use a function called array_from. Okay, so we want to generate an array and we iterate. Okay, let me just see what we're just going to do. Where are those buttons? They are all in between here, so we only need one. Okay, I'm just going to minimize and remove all others. Just remove all others, just like that. We just only need only one. Okay, just like that. So just only need one. Okay, if I just go and check, I should just have only one. Okay, yes, we have only one. Okay, so now in this middle, first of all, change it to a button. Okay, change it to a button, and then remove this href. Okay, so the first thing is to create these numbers. Okay, so how do we create the numbers? Because we already know the total number of pages. Okay, so that means we can actually use the total number of pages, because we don't want to say, for instance, if we have here to these ones should be the pages, for instance, page 1, page 2, page 3, page 4, up to page 10 if we have 10 pages. Okay, so first of all, to create an array of this using array_from, I'm just going to cut this. Okay, you can just do this, and then we can just say array dot from, and now array dot from takes in two things. Okay, it takes in an iterable and then also it takes in the map function. Okay, it takes in the map function. Okay, so it takes in these two things. An iterable can be an array, like for instance, if you are using document.query selector, or you have nodes, or you have anything like that, that is an iterable. Or even an object. Actually, even an object can be used as an iterable. So for example, here we can actually put an object, and we can create an object, for instance, using length key, and the length we can give it total pages. We already have the total pages. So this one can also be used as an iterable to define the number of items to generate. So this first one. Then the second one is a function. Okay, normally we just like have this. Now if we could have like an item and then with index, something like this. Okay, we already just have this. This is the map function we have always been running. Okay, so we can just say return. Okay, just return this. We could just do something like this. We return the button. Okay, we can just say, and then li here, just going to say key is equal to index, just like that. But the problem, this is just has no item. Okay, because we are just using an object. If it was an array, an actual array, we could just have the item. So this in a map function, you can actually drop this. First, if you find you're not going to use this, you don't have to use this whatsoever, and we're not using it in any way. So you can drop it by putting an underscore, just like that. You put an underscore, and this means that you are not interested in this first item, you are only interested in the index. Okay, when you're doing that, it should just generate as the pages. So you can see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So you can see we have here all the 10 pages right now. Okay, only the thing now we have to show is the stuff here, which should be like index +1, I guess. Let me see, because if it's just like the first item, okay, its index is 0, so this one should be like index +1. Okay, let me see, is it okay? So yeah, we have like index +1. We have all these showing up here. Okay, so I don't know if we want to have all of them like that, but we can just first leave them just like that. We have all these ones. Now the only thing is that we want to click. If we click, it should jump to this. Okay, it should jump to this. Let me just go and see on click. So it should have also on click. Okay, and then the on click is on the button. So on click, okay, it is also going to call the set current page, and the current page is also going to use index. I think it should also use index +1. Yep, I think so. Let's just see. Okay, index +1. If I click like on 2, yep, so you can see page 2, page 3. If I jump to 7, it is on page 7. Okay, so this is cool. Page 8, I like this, guys. Now it should also have where to stop, like to disable, and I think this is disabled is equal to we can have disabled is equal to when what we have to say when the current page. So when the current page is equal to index +1, is it when the current page is equal index +1, I think it should get disabled. I don't know if we can confirm that, like but that's the logic behind it. So we have all these now just working really nicely. Okay, it is something you may think it is really complicated, but if you think about it, it is actually not. Okay, yeah, so we have our table and it is looking amazing. I like it. Now what I'm thinking is, on these pages, I don't know if we should show all these 10 pages. Okay, let's first see on the original how they are showing it. So they show like this. I don't know how we do that, like to only display like the first 5, and also to set this the current one. We have to work also on that, but on how to put this in between, I'm not so sure. Okay, I'm not so sure, but we can first just leave them just like this. Okay, we could just like first leave them just like this. Okay, now how about if this page is and you see, okay, so you can see here, if you click on 3, of course, like this is working really nicely. We have to add like I feel like we should add the current page we are on. If you're on page 1, this should be like activated. Okay, so I think we can just say we could just give it a class based on that. Okay, you could have this. This is why we have this bg white. Okay, so we could cut all this. Okay, and then you put like a condition here, and we could just say if the current page is equal to I don't know, is equal to index plus 1. I don't know. If this is true, we could just like put this as the logic. If this is true, then we have this, then we have that. Okay, there is a better way, by the way, of reducing all these classes, but I just want to only just change it, say bg blue, maybe 600. Okay, text gray, let's just say text white. Obviously, like make it text gray 50. Then there is the border and all that kind of stuff. Okay, so you can see one now has been selected. I don't think, like on the hover, where is hover? So BG blue, we have the border. We could just also make this one blue. Okay, make this one blue. Hover BG, still BG blue, and this one just make it like 800. Hover text, when we hover the text, we should just make it text white, like maybe just make it white. Then there is dark BG black. Like for the dark, I just leave them like that. Let's command C here. If there are some changes, like if you hover right now, okay, so that's great. Yeah, and this moves like the active class really moves like that. I think let's just make it, but BG blue 600 is okay. Yep, so we have also the active class being just working very nicely. Just love this. Okay, so one thing I can just do is increasing something on this. where is this whole thing? Navigation is, I feel like item center, padding top, I feel like they are lacking some padding. Let me just go to the URL tag. Here we are using height. Can we say height 14? Let me see. Does this height make sense? Let me just go to the button itself and I see P. Okay, it is having, they're using height on the button, px. Okay, then they have this. Okay, let's see if I increase this to 10. Is 10 there? Okay, let's just see if that changes something. Oh, okay, so that is this button. This has changed, I think, on all of them. Okay, let's first see if this has a, yeah, I think that one looks a good size. So H10, I'm just going to copy this, close this. The same thing to these ones, H10, and then move down to the last one, which you should also give it H10. So let's just see. Oh, okay, so this one has to also give this site here H10, the normal ones. Okay, so this looks amazing for me. It's big enough, we can see them, and even these ones we can just simply increase. Where is that text? This text is showing, I'm just search for it, showing. So here we can also have text, instead of text SM, let's have text XL. And let's see. Okay, so we have this showing this, and then one thing is maybe we could just add like padding, I think, a little bit onto this whole navigation. I think we could just see padding of 4 instead of padding top only. We can have padding of 4, and we have something like this. Okay. Yep, so we have the table right now, and everything is working the way we want. Okay, I think you find it very useful, and if you like the video, guys, if you like the progress, then we can just say you can just say thank you. You can just smash that like button, you can subscribe, you can share, and you tell more friends to come and we learn. Don't forget that we're having the course. So the course is you can just join the waiting list. Okay, I can see members are increasing. When the number is significant, then you just send you the notification when the course is ready. So just join the waiting list. You can join the waiting list and I will notify you, and meanwhile I will start sending you some useful resources. We'll have a lot of stuff here, guys. You can see I plan a lot of stuff. We'll have guides, cheat sheet, community, jobs, and so many things that we'll be sharing onto this site. Okay, so I feel like we should stop there for this episode, and at the same time I feel like we should add one more thing, more especially for the dark mode. I don't know if this will be nice, so that we can tackle dark mode. Let's just like do it in the next episode, guys. Okay, thank you so much for watching this episode. I will see you in the next one.